Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for this info session about the YouthWorks summer program. We are honored today to have Dr. Rashim with us, who is critical in setting up and executing the entire YouthWorks program, from organizations to students to even the job coaches. Today, we're going to take some time to talk about that job coach role and why it's critical and why you should apply today to be a job coach for the YouthWorks summer program and help serve some of the youth in Baltimore City. Dr. Rashim, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Welcome. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I am Rashim. I am currently YouthWorks program manager at the Mayor's Office of Employment Development. I'm very much new to this particular role, but not new to YouthWorks. I have been in some realm or capacity working with YouthWorks over the last 5 or 6 years. I have been a YouthWorks direct supervisor. I have been a worksite supervisor. I've been a team lead. I've also did virtual program management. So I've been at quite a few different levels of YouthWorks in terms of as far as that goes. I have several years of experience in terms of just things related to like youth development, nonprofit development, that sort of thing. My educational background is very strong in like nonprofit development and youth development as well. That's a little bit of background on me.
Awesome, great, thank you. So can I ask you a question? What makes YouthWorks for Baltimore City so special for our youth?
Wow. I mean, I think, so I want to start with, it's not only special for the youth, it's very important for the city. Typically in any given year, it is the largest employment program that we have in the city. It employs 8,000 youth over the summer.
Wow. Okay.
Every year for the last 5 or 6 years, it's been employing youth. It's been giving youth their first job opportunity, their first experience with employment, the opportunity to work at different sites. They get like real tangible on-job training, and the opportunity to kind of like earn as they learn.
I love that. I love that motto, earn as you learn, right?
Yeah.
Want to jump in there and get paid and learn at the same time. That's amazing. Okay, so for those that are watching, Baltimore Core has been honored and lucky to partner with y'all to help recruit for job coach managers.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the adults who will be stewarding the youth during this experience. Could you tell me a little bit more about the job coach managers and what do they have to do?
Yeah, so job coach manager primarily will be most of our job coach managers, and by primarily, I mean like 85 to 90% of our job coaches and job coach managers will be operating virtually. So the role of the job coach manager is kind of supervising the job coach. They're not direct contact necessarily with the youth. They work with the folks who work with the youth. So one of the key aspects of their role is to make sure that the job coaches have the information, tools, and infrastructure that they need to be able to fully support the youth in their particular role. Job coach manager is a supervisory position. You're helping to basically support the job coaches in their work with the youth. The program starts on the 28th. However, the job coach manager role, they would start June the 28th. I said June 28th is when the program starts. So the program dates are from June 28th to August 6th. The job coach manager would start June 14th because they have like about a 2-week training. So we're not just getting you in and just sending you out there unprepared. You'll get 2 weeks of full-on training. You'll get training. Outside of orientation, you also get trained on how to engage remotely, what software is needed. Black Mental Health Alliance are a lot of times our partners. Youth engagement, how do you engage youth remotely, that sort of thing. So they start at that time. And then the job coaches start the following week, that June 21st. So they get a full week of training and preparation before June 28th, so that when the youth come on, the folks who are working with them have had either a week or 2 weeks of training specifically geared around like how to best support them in their development as new, for some, first-time employees.
That first check is always a good feeling.
Listen, I wish I had, it would have been great to have a person to kind of like, I don't know, to just kind of like support me through the process of my very first job. I don't know if you remember your very first job, Nigel, but I remember mine, and I didn't have anything along the lines of a coach. I had a supervisor who had a set of rules and responsibilities. But the thing about the job coach's role is they are very much coaching you through your first job experience. These are some do's, these are some don'ts, this is some dress code, this is things to look at for your resume, these are some other options you want to consider in terms of employment, that sort of thing. So it's really, really and truly a learn as you earn type of structure.
Yeah, it's definitely powerful. Like you mentioned, I remember my first official summer youth job in New York, and they put us in a school, and that would have been a great opportunity, you would think, to learn about the educational system if you wanted to be a teacher, but they didn't take advantage of the opportunity to read. So I think the programming that you guys are adding this year, that y'all are adding this year, is just powerful, right? So let's talk a little more about the job coaches, because that is what we are recruiting for, and that's what we want, right?
So the job coach's role is so crucial. So it would be one job coach, and that job coach would be assigned to about 15 youth, maybe less, 15 or less youth. And their job is really to coach and mentor and support their development in their first job experience. They'd be doing this virtually through helping them develop a resume, helping them with their first job interview process, how to look for a job. And we're using a platform called YouthWorks Edge. So the job coach would be helping them through the modules of this YouthWorks Edge process to get acquainted with this is what the job sector is like. This is how you apply. This is what you can expect when you apply. This is how you do a cover letter. This is how you address it. Just really hands-on preparatory support for youth in their first job experience. That's primarily the bread and butter of that role. Yeah.
Awesome. That's needed. Okay. So job coaches, what is the salary? What are the hours? What's the typical day-to-day for a job coach?
Oh, yeah. So job coaches' salary is $15 an hour. The program is 6 weeks. The job coach, again, would be more like 7 weeks. I just want to make sure I got my numbers right. So it would be $15 an hour, 25 hours per week, 5 hours per day, that sort of thing. And it would go until August 9th. So the program ends actually August 6th, but then there's the 9th. So there's a weekend, and there's the 9th to allow for reporting and any debrief, or, just to share feedback of like, what are some of the things that came up. A typical day in the life of a job coach could vary slightly, not too much, but just a tad bit. So you'll probably have your huddle or your morning meeting with your job coach manager, just addressing what is going to come up today, what can you expect, any needs or questions that you have. Huddles tend to be about 30 minutes, not too long. Then the next thing is you would meet with your youth virtually through a link. You're engaging with them. You're getting them ready for today. You're letting them know kind of what their work assignments will be. Their work assignments are going to be connected to a job function of like learning and understanding the employment field and arena. And then after those activities, there's also some asynchronous work that they would engage in. So all of that time wouldn't necessarily be FaceTime. There's going to be some time that you will provide a work instruction, and then you would allow youth some time to complete that work instruction, and then there's a check-in at the end of the day.
Awesome. So what is the type of personality that's going to make for a very successful job coach?
Yeah, one of the best things that we would be looking for with somebody with a job coach is you really need to understand youth. You need to be able to engage with them and engage with them in a way that is meaningful and impactful. I have a personal leaning and preference towards, if you are dealing with Baltimore youth, that you are in the city, that you are familiar with the city, that you're familiar with the neighborhoods of the city. I think there is also a degree of compassion that needs to go along with interacting with youth, understanding of, not talking down to youth, because they are youth, but this is still an employment experience, right? These are not in this vein. They are not our students. They are not in school per se. These are young adults, and this is their first young adult experience. So having an understanding of that these are young adults, engaging them in that way, and knowing how to really interact with youth, understand and be flexible. It really takes a degree of understanding of youth, inner city youth, Black and brown youth, specifically Baltimore youth. The more you understand that, the more equipped that you would be to do this job.
Awesome. That makes perfect sense. And after this, we're going to get a flood of just passionate, smart people that you just described to come work.
I'm channeling it.
I love it. It's great. Well, listen, do you have any other final words of wisdom or encouragement that you want to share to potential job coaches out there who may be sitting on the sidelines, who have that passion for youth, but
Yeah, I would say apply. I would say also to bring all of your energy, bring some of your ideas, because these programs, and while we provide an outline, it's not super cookie cutter. So you'll get to experiment a bit. You'll get to do things special with your group. If you have an idea around mentoring, if you have a passion toward developing a young person, all of that, I would say bring all of that energy, bring all of those ideas, bring all of that enthusiasm, because youth need people who genuinely care about them. They need people who are enthusiastic about engaging with them. They need people who love youth. Because sometimes it takes folks who love our youth to engage and to just deal with some of the challenges or some of the things that may come up that are out of their control.
Yeah.
So I would say, if you are enthusiastic, if you love Baltimore youth, then this is a great job for you.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Everyone watching, on the next slide, we will have the basic information that Dr. Rasheen just mentioned, way to apply and a way to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you this summer.